Today we're going to compare the Lectric XP Lite to the Jetson Haze. The Lectric XP Lite is the smallest, least expensive e-bike made by Lectric, while Jetson Haze is one of the more expensive models made by Jetson. Both are relatively small 48-volt e-bikes made for easy transport, made for commuters, made for flat earthers. In this video, we're going to compare the motor, speed, range, size, build, everything. So let's get started. Both of these are 350 watt motors, yet they behave differently, and we'll get back to that a little bit later. Both have 48 volt, 7.5 amp hour batteries. They should get similar range. However, I got quite a bit more with the Lectric XP Lite with my very casual test. 18 miles for the XP Lite and 14 for the Haze. So the advantage there goes to the Lectric XP Lite. Speed. Well, the speed of the 350 watt motor of the Jetson Haze goes to 15 miles. The Lectric XP Lite goes to 20, although I was getting 14 and 19 respectively. And if you're going to be going on multi-mile commutes, this can make a huge difference. 5 miles more an hour means that you'll be able to outrun wild animals like the Crazy X from the boonies. This is a ton of speed difference, and being smaller bikes, you can feel it. The XP Lite seems a bit unstable at those speeds and shouldn't exceed 20 miles per hour in my opinion. However, it's okay at that speed. Let's talk about the 350 watt motor and hill climbing ability. With the smaller hills, either bike scales them fine. For really tough hills like this 15% grade, they are surprisingly close. The Jetson Haze did eke it out just a little bit, and it was a little bit more powerful, and I didn't have to really cheat the system like I did with the Lectric XP Lite. However, for all intents and purposes, they're about the same strength when it comes to uphills. Let's talk about comfort. The XP Lite is an unapologetic BMX style e-bike. It's tough, it's rough, and I feel like it's made for more active riders, while the Jetson Haze is a cruising machine that requires little to no pedaling, if ever. And here, this one is much stiffer, if that's your thing. I like the softer seat of the Jetson Haze compared to the Lectric XP Lite. 16 versus 20-inch tires. There is a big difference look-wise, but in comfort, it doesn't feel that different because there's this rear shock, and it does make a lot of difference. The rear shock is surprisingly comfortable, and that's why it's possibly gets less range, because the ability to compress itself and lose a bit of momentum because of that. So the engine works a little bit harder. That's just my opinion. And moving on, we'll talk about the size. Both have a folding ability. Both fold up small. The handlebars fold up. The frame folds in half. Pedals all fold. It's a blessing and a curse. Folding an e-bike is like folding a towel, except for the towel is made of lead. It's nice that it can get so compact, however, it is a chore. The Haze is quite a bit better in this regard. You have the magnet that keeps your wheels from flopping all over the place, because handling an e-bike is as annoying as dealing with the IRS. You really don't want to fold it unless you absolutely have to, and that's where the Jetson Haze comes in clutch. Because it has a slightly shorter wheelbase, there's a good chance that you can fit it in your car with only the handlebars folded, and it'll fit. With the Lectric XP Lite, that is not the case. I could not fit it in any car, not the small car, not the big car. It was just a little bit too long, and for that reason, you have to fold it like a pretzel every single time. Let's talk about the informational panel. Both have the most important indicators. The power indicator is by far the most important metric. Can you get to your destination? Granted, the XP Lite has a proper display. You can see how fast you're going. It has a finer look at power levels. That said, the Jetson Haze has only 3 power levels, keeping it really simple and practical. The power levels on the Jetson Haze, they are physical controls, making it very nice to look at, because you switch it, you can feel the switch. You don't even have to look at the panel at all. It's a physical switch. So you know that you're going to get to your final destination, which is going back to your home where your kids don't love you, where there's a mess waiting for you even though you didn't make it and it's yours to clean up, where there's more bills than you can handle. Bruh. All right, let's take a look at the cable management. Nice and clean for the Jetson. Over here, the Lectric XP. Well, it goes underneath and it's kind of, yeah, you can see it. It's not the best way to do it, but it is what it is. Moving on to the smaller things. The battery on the XP Lite. You need to have your key in there to ride it. Getting this right the first time is about as likely as being able to satisfy a modern woman. Hey, I got it. Lucky me. Every time you're going to start up your e-bike, you got to put it in from the bottom and you're going in blind. It's like you're going to the proctologist. The rotor lock of the Jetson Haze. This thing doesn't work particularly well if you push it in like this. You hear that? It's touching the rotor already. It's very easy to touch the rotor. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't fall over me. So, I mean, right now I've got it good and I wouldn't take it apart again, but it's just one of those things that may have looked good in theory, just not in practice. I think that was a good thing in concept that you push that lock and your bike rotor is locked. However, somebody could just carry your bike and take it away. On top of that, the lock doesn't work particularly well. Next up, when it comes to build quality, well, the Jetson Haze has a built-in light. It looks sleek. The Lectric XP has a somewhat inexpensive looking headlight. However, it does turn with the wheel. This one is fixed forward all the time. Look at these bosses for the Lectric XP. Nice and thick. The welds, again, nice everywhere. And this one has like no welds that you can see. It's a smooth finish. However, look at this bar right here. It's just generally thicker. I believe it's thicker. This one's tapered and it's longer. This one's shorter and thicker. Even these things right here for the seats, this post is definitely thicker than the Jetson Haze. Going to the rear and look at this cover right here to protect the bolt. This one doesn't have any. What modifications can you do with these? It's slightly easier with the Lectric XP Lite. It has mounts. Here the mounts are covered and there's no current items on the market for it. This one has the fenders, which are nicer, but they do cost quite a bit of money. Here's the fender of the Jetson Haze. Up here, there's a bolting mounting points right here so that you could do a front rack if you wanted to. And here's the front fender. It's nice, nicer than the Haze, but you know, the Haze, it comes with it and it's free, and this one is around $60. The Jetson Haze is quite limited. You're limited in the rack you can put in the back because it has a shock, so it pivots. You can't really put a rack that sits on the rear tail. You have to put it on the neck of your seat. Next up, we have a look at riding accommodations. We have a slightly different throttle system. This one is full handle. This one is half handle. I prefer half, and I prefer thumb over half. However, it is what it is. The front handlebar can only go so high. Well, it's a fixed height, where the Lectric XP Lite, the front handlebar can extend. Check out the rear design of the Jetson Haze right here. You see that this arm can only move so much. You see, there's not a whole lot of range. It's limited to somebody that's maybe 5'3" to 5'7" for optimal size. Beyond that, it's not really optimal. Whereas the XP Lite, that rear seat can go ultra high, along with the handlebars going very high, so it could accommodate a wide variety of users. Lastly, how can we forget is the price. The Jetson Haze goes for $5.99, or sometimes, if you're crazy enough to buy it on their website, it's $8.99, the same price. Well, no, $8.99 is even higher than the XP Lite. XP Lite goes for $7.99. Jetson Haze is $5.99. That's $200 difference. But you're getting the Jetson Haze at Costco. It often goes on sale for $499, making it a solid $300 less. That's almost half price. But if you get the remanufactured ones, you get it for $399. That is exactly half the price of the XP Lite. However, let's just say for the sake of it, $499, you're getting a bike that is significantly cheaper. It does go significantly slower. So there's a lot that goes into the price that you get. I mean, what you're paying for the extra with the XP Lite, you're getting your money's worth. I mean, there is no free lunch right now. If you want that extra speed, well, it's the XP Lite. If you want the accessories, it's the XP Lite, and it'll cost you. These accessories for the XP Lite, it's not cheap. It has a proprietary rear rack type system. Certainly, you can use a rear neck type of rear rack, but you know, if you've already gone this far, the rack from Lectric XP is superb. It is outstanding. It supports 70 pounds. It is ridiculously well made, but it'll cost you a bit. It doesn't come with fenders, but tell you what, when you get the fenders, they're much higher quality than the Jetson Haze. And at the same time, you're looking at $900+. So is all of that worth it? Well, it depends, I guess. If you can afford it, certainly get the XP Lite. It's just a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. Granted, it will never be as small as the Jetson Haze, and it will always be a little bit more annoying compared to the Jetson Haze. And with the Haze, I mean, you're getting a decent bike, and one day, you know, somebody might hack it, because I seriously know that this thing can go 20 miles an hour. It's just that it's capped at 15, 14. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. See you in the next one. Take care.